What is going on, Clippers fans? Welcome to Season 2, Episode 30 of Clips and Dip. I am Chuck Mockler. William Updike is joining us as well. Adam Oslin, still under the weather. Are you not talking as I was up? Will's doing a mime bit. Adam Oslin is usually with us. He's still under the weather. He did want us to tell everyone, this is a direct quote from Adam, my efficiency and my eventual return will be like Kawhi dropping 41. So that's good to hear.
Believe it when I see it, man.
Will's skeptical. We hope everyone's doing well this Sunday evening. We're going to be talking the Clippers 8-3 over their last 11.
As we generally do.
Yeah. We're going to be talking Clippers last 11 games, how that's looked. Really also want to ask, like, how badly that Nuggets loss poisoned our brains from this season. Of course, the one where Reggie and DJ went off. We're going to talk Norman Zoo's great stretches of play. There is a fantastic new nickname for Norm plus the regular starters instead of Terrence Mann that we need to go over. And then we're going to preview
Powell
the
Rangers?
back-to-back.
Powell Rangers?
Oh, shit. It is not, but we're putting that on the list as well. Powell Rangers is...
Or the Zord.
Man, this is... Again, wish Adam was here for this. Powell Rangers, also a great nickname. Then we're talking the back-to-back Portland, which has some very key person out. And then a couple other guys questionable.
Oh, no.
The game against the Kings. But first, if you listen to our last episode, people hated it. We have a new guest on to talk to. We brought Jillian Zucker on to talk everyone's favorite. Will, how are you doing before we get into this Clippers talk?
I'm doing good. Yeah, relaxing, restorative weekend. I'm ready to pretend to do work this week, and then I'm heading on a little vacay, so I'm feeling good. I'm hoping the Clips keep me in a good mood coming into this holiday season, because you never know, they can really do you dirty, as they did one year versus the Mavs in a Christmas that my family is still going to talk about.
Oh no, you're back off to Montana, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
There we go. Fantastic. Well, let's get into it. Clippers 8-3 over their last 11. Is the taste of that, you mentioned the Clippers being able to let us down sometimes, is the taste of that Nuggets loss gone for you? Are we past that? Because that poisoned my brain a bit. I was shocked. I wasn't shocked, but it was one of those things where it was like, oh shit, okay, seen this, worried about this.
I would say it's starting to the point where, like, that is starting to fade. You know, you've bathed the skunked dog in tomato sauce or whatever you got to do. You're cooking it up like a little marinara, and it still kind of stinks, but it's it's a lot better. It's your dog again. And the Clippers, the Clippers are definitely looking a lot better. It's just that Nuggets one just hurt so much because it's like just the encapsulation of sort of everything in an overarching sense that's kind of been wrong with this team really in the 2-1-3 era. And so I'm not going to harp on it anymore. We've talked about it. We've talked about it enough. But the Clippers have looked a lot better. I was thoroughly impressed with the way that they were able to, like, really put their foot on the throats of the Jazz in Utah in a road game, when once again we saw a backcourt pairing that hasn't worked. We thought we had completely moved away from it, which was successful. And then for some reason we moved back to it, and lo and behold, it wasn't that successful. But just through sheer, like, hard effort and will on the defensive end and just some really great offense, we were able to come out of that one. And I talked a little bit with Adam. I still had some concerns or some issues with the game, but long story short, that stench of the Nuggets loss is starting to wear off. This is starting to feel like a much more real 8-3. You know, when we talked about this,
okay, I like that.
When we talked about it earlier, it's like, you look at the quality of the wins, maybe not the best, but now they've put together a couple of good ones. And this Utah one, look, I get that Utah isn't tearing up in the standings. It's a hard team. That's a hard road game. Okay.
Yeah, we had one there for
since 2017 or something like that. It's a really, really long time. A really, really long time. So that one was, to me, was good to see, and obviously not as impressive standings wise, playoff ability wise as the Nuggets game. But the Nuggets game, I did feel a lot of stuff kind of did go right in our ways. Some of from some was earned and some, some things a little bit broke our way. But it's starting to feel more and more real that this team is pulling it together. And I'm in a much better place with where they are. I'm still not, you asked me last episode, and I know people were furious about this, but like,
people were mad at you. Yeah.
Do I think that this is like a championship team? I'm still not there yet. But
do you want to timestamp it? Because that was a key component of the last episode we did.
As of December 10th. Like I'm not there yet, but this team is looking the best that it's looked so far, and it is seeming like we're going to be able to make this work despite there are some kind of weird things that we have to work around in the roster.
Yes. We're going to talk about, I got a text from Joseph Fry Ward, former Clipper podcast great, who had a bold take over the next 20 games we're going to talk
former
about.
Clipper podcaster.
Just
joking. I hope you hear this, Joseph.
Shots today. I hope Joseph is doing well. I think one thing that helps me deal with the Nuggets loss is that people were worried about Kawhi Leonard for some reason. And
okay, this one has never made sense to me. All season long, I feel like this has been a narrative.
Worried about him.
We've talked a little bit about, I think it's troubling that they've lost the majority of the games up until this stretch with Kawhi and Paul George playing together. That to me is concerning. I think there's more questions in the play style than the players, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Because I said it on, I think it was one of the early double dips with Adam that we do on AM 570. If you're new to the show, we get to go on after the game and talk with Adam a little bit. Where I was like, well, I have
still shows up to those. Adam still shows up to those.
His actual job.
Some people got priorities, I guess.
The man is sick. He's ordering pho. Send some pho Adam's way if you're in Burbank. I basically said, like, let's not all be surprised when Kawhi Leonard starts playing really well and the Clippers follow suit. Like, the man is the engine of this team. The last game, I felt like from the second bucket that Kawhi got against the Jazz, that it was just like, okay, good luck, everybody else trying to do anything tonight. Because Kawhi looked determined. Like, this is what we need to see from Kawhi. He's been fantastic. Over the last
would you say that the performance was Statham-esque? He was, would you call him the beekeeper?
Sure, he is the beekeeper of the Clippers. Did you see the beekeeper?
No, I haven't yet, but isn't Utah the Beehive State? I don't know.
It is the Beehive State because everyone is so productive like bees is the reason.
Right on.
Not very good. Kawhi over the last 5 games, 27, 6, and 4. With 40 points the other night. He's looking phenomenal. James Harden also looking more comfortable. Are you surprised over the last 5 games he's averaging 2 steals?
Harden?
Yeah.
No, he's an active hands guy. Look, I'm not gonna cape for Harden's defense and say that it's like great or anything, but right. he has at times been an elite post defender, and he's very active hands that can swing both ways. You can that can turn into a foul prone game where you're really in trouble. But he did during when he was still in the MVP conversation. He was top of the league in deflections most of those years. So this isn't brand new, is what I'm saying. You worry about the fouls, but other than that, no, it's great.
Yeah,
still good. It's still good. I'm just saying it's like not coming out of nowhere, I guess.
Sure, fair. 19, 4, and 8 over these last 5 games. Ty Lue had a great quote about him in Justin Russo. His Substack is really good. He's using Harden like LeBron. He said, I think using him a lot like LeBron in Cleveland, just a great passer at the elbow. Lou said when asked what has made the Clippers offense so potent when Harden is operating as a ball handler and playmaker. Specifically in these elbow sets, he said, then having Kawhi and PG just working off pin downs, rip screens, and seeing if the defense messes it up and kind of get those guys shots. He's been really good at the elbows. And it's true. James Harden also made fun of Justin Russo for being short. Did you see that exchange?
I did, yeah.
That was good stuff. Justin Russo handled it well. But Harden was basically like, he can see over people, so he knows when to make these passes. Commented that Justin Russo probably couldn't see over those people and then left, which was great. But the Harden thing, he's not taking as many shots, but that's good. Like, that's going to ramp up more. He's running things so well as the driver of the offense that it's like Let's keep on this pace. This is wonderful stuff from James Harden so far.
Yeah, he's also been, and I talked about this a little bit with Adam, but he has been a huge key of Zubats having this insane stretch of games.
And we're gonna talk about Big Zoo.
He's a huge benefit of James handling the ball. Great pick and roll partner. Zoo talked post game about how much they've been working on that before every game, after every practice. Just the two of them are running through like their pick and roll coverages, what they want to do, what they're going for, how to react when the defense counters. So that is really, really encouraging. But yeah, we can talk about that some more later. But I'm loving the stuff from Harden. I think in terms of his shots, I want to see him be aggressive. I don't want to see him turn down anything. Sure. But to me, obviously, it should be Kawhi and Paul George with the lion's share of the actual field goal attempts. I'm fine with him being the third or fourth most, depending on how many looks Norm is getting.
That's a good call. Yeah, especially if the way Norm's been playing and how way Norm's been playing in a lineup with James Harden specifically. Sometimes you got to ride that Norm heater. That can happen, but it's great to see the starters continuing to be really good together. That lineup change came, a couple games late, whatever. But we're here now again, 8-3 over the last 11. So Joseph Ryan Ward texted me kind of a bold take in the middle of the Utah Jazz game. He thinks the Clippers are going 14-6 over their next 20.
Pull up the schedule.
He pull up the schedule by the Clippers. Can we share a screen on here? Do we figure out how to do that yet?
Try. There's a button at the bottom. If you're watching this on YouTube or listen to this, I don't know that we'll cut this out. We, sometimes we're messing around on here. All right.
Hold on.
Got it.
Hey, there we go. Look at us using technology. Oh, am I riding the Norm heater? I absolutely am. So here we go. We got the Jazz, which he counted in this.
Okay.
I think including the Jazz game, the Clippers go 14-6. So there, I like it there. Let's look at Trailblazers. I don't want to pencil anything in here. Also, Jeremy Grant's out of that game. So there's probably a dub. Where are we seeing the losses? Where do you think the 6 losses can come from here? I'm thinking.
So
I think New Year's Day. I think January 1st. We can maybe chalk that as we have no idea what's going to happen the New Year's Day game. I think that's fair. It's a weird time.
It's an evening game, though.
Oh, that's true. Evening game.
If it was noon, I'd say loss for sure. Okay, so I'm thinking we for sure drop at least 1 to the Suns. We lose to the Pelicans. I think we drop 1 to the Timberwolves.
Who are playing great. The Timberwolves defense right now is the only half-court defense better than the Clippers, but their stats are like they're shitting on everyone in the half-court defense. It's crazy.
Did I say Timberwolves?
Yes, that's who I was just.
Okay. Yeah, so I think we lose to the Timberwolves. I think we lose a revenge game to the Mavericks. I think we lose to the Boston Celtics. I'm not guaranteeing any of these. I'm just saying if this is 14-6, I'm saying these are ones that I could pencil in, that I could see a loss in, and not in a way where I'm like pissed about that.
Totally. If the process is good, it's like we say a lot. If the process is good and we lose, it's hard to be too upset sometimes.
And then I think we drop 1 of either the Kings or Warriors game.
Yeah, I think the Bay Area. I think those
or the Pacers game. I don't know, but
that Pacers game is going to be depending how. Dude, that Pacers game is going to be a really good game. Depending how I like those losses. I mean, I don't like those losses, but I like thinking about where these losses might come from, which is nice. If we get
none of those, I would be, like I said, none of those I would shocked. Be like pissed about. You know what I mean? Like getting blown out, I suppose, would be one thing, but a lot of those teams that I mentioned are quality teams all above the Clippers in the standings. It'd be understandable.
Yes, it would.
Not saying it's a foregone conclusion, but
yeah. But when I first saw it, I was like, I don't know, 14-6. But now that we took a short look at the schedule, doable, very doable. It's a real important next 20 games because as good as they've been in this last 11, still 11-10, but a lot of good habits being built. So shout out Joseph Ryan Ward for the confidence.
Love the optimism.
Anything else we want to talk about before we break and dive into this these two fantastic Norm lineup names we have, and Zoo's stretch?
No. Let's hit him with an ad break.
Let's hit him with an ad break. Someone on Twitter, who did not like the last episode, said that they were like, I didn't like the last episode, and the ads were loud for the first time for me. And I was like, this is why we put the disclaimer in. People make fun of the disclaimer, but then one day you may need it.
You'll thank us. You'll thank us when you don't get tinnitus from listening to ads too loud all the time for the hours that you listen to this podcast.
Yeah. So if that has been your case, go ahead and turn it down. We're going to be talking Norm and Zoo. They're great stretches of play, which the Clippers have absolutely needed. Coming up, we got ads coming up in 3, 2, 1.
All right. Welcome back into Clips and Dip, your favorite Clippers podcast. It's me, Charles Mockler, or it's me, William Updike, here with Charles Mockler. Our fallen brethren, Adam Oslin, R.I.P. We hope to see him soon. But we're talking about Zoo playing one of the best stretches of his career, as well as Norm in some of these closing lineups and just playing with the starters in general. Got some great nicknames for that. Let's start with the Norm stuff, Chuck. Where are we at with Norm? What about Norm?
So we have to give a shout out to, I saw this on LA Clippers film Twitter first, and then they divulged that Shannon Moscoso, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, thought of this lineup, which is Norm Powell, and then not Terrence, it's Norm, Harden, PG, Kawhi, Zoo. So Norm and the core 4. NormCore. NormCore is a great name for this lineup.
NormCore is good.
However, Powell Rangers, I'm also really on board with. So we know which one Adam's going to vote.
Go Powell Rangers.
But this lineup has been incredible for the last 10 games. They've only gotten 27 minutes together, so it is some small sample size theater. But 123.7 offensive rating, 85 defensive rating, for a 38.0 net rating. It's been used in these short bursts. We've seen the spacing even when things were still getting figured out when Harden was first on the team and Norm was out there with the starters. It was like, oh shit, okay, there's something's getting churned up here in a good way. This to me feels like the closest thing we've seen to this is so clearly a playoff lineup. This is going to do some damage in the playoffs in the 2-1-3 era. This is like the most. Maybe it's because we wanted Wingstop so bad or something like that, but we wanted to see some playoff ready lineups. This is a playoff ready lineup. This is going to do some damage for the Clippers.
It is, and I'm really excited to see. We're going to talk a little bit more about him later, but I'm excited to see how Zoo sort of adapts to this, because we know the biggest thing with his tenure, while he's established himself as a starter, has been, is he in those closing lineups? So I'm hoping that, with Harden on the floor with him, that can increase his offense to a point where Ty Lue feels that he provides enough value on that end of the floor that his defense obviously is enough to carry everything on the other side. But Norm has just been so good. And this is the first season that we'll have, hopefully, knocking on all the wood right now, fully healthy with him, which is something else. And it's also, this is just an aside, and not to be a wet blanket on this whole parade, but at what point do we start to worry about the Clippers only playing 8 guys?
Oh, that's a fair
8 or 9. I mean, 8 or 9. I could see 9 once Tice returns. It's still it is a tight rotation. Is all.
It is a tight rotation.
Not that it isn't necessitated by the talent, but I am just broadly wondering, at what point are we concerned about the longevity of that?
You know me, I'm only thinking about March, so I'm concerned about it right now. No, I think that is 100% something to think about with this team, because it's a bit of an older team. There was some good news. I don't know how much this helps, but Brandon Boston Jr. is healthy, which is good. He's playing tonight. Maybe he might get somewhere. I don't know. You're not wrong. There needs to be some spelling happening, and maybe they're just waiting to figure stuff out more. But I think that is a fair thing. Maybe not to worry about yet. But
the other question that it begs, and sorry, then we can get back on track with what we were actually talking about.
Positivity.
The other question that it begs is that, okay, so what is this 8-man rotation when one of or both of Kawhi and Paul George are out? We haven't had to address that issue so far this season.
Kobe Brown.
I don't see it being something that doesn't have to be addressed at some point during the rest of the season.
You slot Kobe in right at the 4, you put Amir at the 3, it's exactly the same. No, I agree. I think these are things. If Adam were here, he would have a really positive thing to say about the process and how they would get that figured out. And let's just pretend.
I believe in it. I'm sorry.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
It's just a question.
I know.
I'm asking the hard-hitting questions. All right.
But let's get back to this wonderful death lineup that we have here. Now I'm thinking about who's going to fucking play these minutes. But
let's get back. Let's get back to the good stuff, man.
Let's get back to the good stuff.
Tell me some more about the Powell Rangers.
It's good basketball, and I wish the thing that's tough is Terrence made 2 threes last game, which is fantastic. Given how things have gone. Yes, he was 2 for 5. So he's still getting chops up. People are still giving him that space. This lineup is going to be, I know this sounds weird. I think it'll be even better, weirdly, when Terrence Mann starts shooting well, even though he's not part of this lineup. Because I think when he starts hitting these things, and then you have the opposing team trying to play a little more catch up, and then you bring Norm into this equation, then the Clippers are then I think this lineup is truly unstoppable. Putting this team out ahead to kind of get more of a lead is going to be cool to see.
Not to give too much free endorsement to our buddy Justin Russo, but he also brought up a stat. He crunched
Is this the Russo episode? We should have him on.
He crunched the numbers on Terrence's sort of starts with the Clippers, and apparently this is a regular pattern where through about the first 20 games of the season, he shoots sub 30%. I believe it's around 20%. Wow. And then the following 62 games, he's right around 40%. So that's that's where that average is coming from. So hopefully
I like that.
Hopefully this is a real trend and a true thing that we can sort of depend on. I have kind of been wondering with Terrence, especially with some of the aggressiveness, if there aren't still some growing pains with him in this lineup, because
I can see
contextually, right? We look at this. Terrence Mann was supposed to be in the starting lineup in October, right? He was supposed to be in the starting lineup in October. He had an ankle injury, only thing that kept him out of the starting lineup. Then they had to work him back in. Of course, this was pre-Harden trade. And then they do that, and he's still not in the starting lineup. And then he later finds himself inserted. And all I'm saying is that, the man is forced to take a U-turn. The guy drives in so many circles. I don't really know exactly how he's supposed to, have his coordinates right after only a few games under this new lineup with him in the starting lineup. But it does seem like he's getting it figured out. And as he does, that unit is just going to get even more space. I mean, unless you went even smaller, there's no way that you could possibly put more space out on the floor for the Clippers. And I think defensively, if Zoo can continue this stretch of play, and hopefully we don't see him with sort of the accumulated slowdown that he sometimes gets during the season. I could see this very much as a death lineup, very much.
That's a great the Terrence thing. He had a quote recently where he was like, I kind of finally feel back to 100%. So I definitely think there's something there. The Zoo stretch right now, because what makes this lineup so nice, part of it is that the front court of Norm and Harden isn't, obviously the best defensively. Backcourt, excuse me. Of Norm and Harden isn't the best defensively, just with Norm out there. So having Zoo playing this good of defense is really helping this lineup out. There's a stat floating around on Twitter that Ivica Zubac is number 1 in rim points saved per 75 minutes in the entire NBA, which is great. The other thing that is nice
One thing that I think could be even better with this is when the team gets a little bit better defensively on the second effort. Because I think sometimes we see Zoo with an insane defensive possession on the first action or the first thing right around the rim. And then he's obviously out of position because that's what happens in the course of defending someone. You can't cover everything. And then we're not seeing somebody else either snag the rebound or be there to stop the second attempt. And I think once the team gets in sync enough to get to that point, then you're talking about an even better defense. And I think we're kissing the top 5 in the last stretch of games. I believe we're Aren't we like 6th or something? I don't have the number right in front of me. I'll pull it up, but I think that gets even better once everybody can kind of get on the same board. And I think this trust coming from Ty Lue, right? Having Zoo being closing
42 minutes the other night. Damn.
Completely has to change how other players on the court trust in him as well. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
it's one thing, even if you play with a guy, like if you know that a coach doesn't trust him to be in closing lineups, when things get tight, how are you supposed to trust him? I don't know. Like, I mean, that's just how I feel like from a coworker perspective. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like, this guy always drops the ball, but hey, you and him are going to be on this project. Big deadline coming up.
Y'all got it, buddy. The Clippers are officially 5th in defensive rating of 110.6. That's fantastic. So more than kissing it, if you catch my drift for that 5th spot in defensive rating. Zoo's numbers.
Making out with it.
Zoo's numbers so far this season with 108.4 defensive rating for the Clippers with Zubats on. 113.2 with him off. 113.2, not a horrendous defensive rating, but 108 is a lot better to see. Elite. There's a thing. Opponents also have seen 30, just right under 31% of their total field goals attempts come at the rim against the Clippers, which is the 8th fewest in the league, which is great. Since the 17th, however, that's down to 28.8%, which is top 5 when it comes to just preventing rim attempts in general.
So it sounds like they're kissing the top 5.
In this particular stat, they are kissing the top. Is this a new phrase? I don't know if I like kissing the top 5 as a phrase, but I think
all 5.
I think it may have to live forever, unfortunately. But this is so good to see. We're not like the pick and roll defense for this team is peaking. It's just great to see if teams aren't going to feel good going into the paint, like go ahead, shoot it up. Like we have 2 elite wing defenders who can defend you out on the paint too. Like the work that Zoo's putting in down low, Paul George and Kawhi have had a bigger defensive responsibility, and we've seen them play really well on that end.
Yeah.
But they're getting help, thankfully, because Zoo's doing so much down low too, which is awesome. Like it's starting to coalesce. It's starting to go up into the right right now for the Clippers defense. And it's good to see. I hope we get more stuff just on how good this Clippers defense has been.
What more stuff? Like wins, or you want to see some more numbers?
More film breakdown from people who know more than I do. That's all we ever hope for. We need material for the show. But yeah, these 2 guys having this start to the season, even with the 6-game losing streak and the 1 game over 500 or whatever, these guys have been indispensable for the Clippers. And there's not a trade in my head right now that I think I'm comfortable with how the Clippers are trending right now. Not to say that like this, the way we're playing as of December 10th, 5:17 p.m., that I don't think one will have. But if we keep trending like this, everyone's working really well together. We're seeing guys understand their job, something you talk about a lot. And it is an issue with this 2-3 team of like, what is our jobs? Like that was a big issue with Doc and things like that. But I don't know if there's a trade right now that I would entertain. Maybe to get some more time for a couple extra guys or something like that. But I don't know.
Jeremy Grant on the cheap.
Maybe. The contract's crazy.
That pushes Terrence out of the starting lineup, though. I don't like it.
And I think Terrence has got I think they probably want Terrence, right?
Nope. They don't like him.
Nope, not at all. But is there a trade you can think of? Like,
is there Voodoo Donuts isn't that good at donuts?
It's not. They're overrated.
He's persona non grata anymore in Portland.
Yeah, he's got to check in when he goes to Portland with the Voodoo Donut guy. Is there a trade you could see? I want to see this play out more. The slow start's rough, but there's not an instant trade that's like, there it is. That's what makes us more of contenders. I don't think. People know how I feel about a Kuzma trade.
Yeah, I guess just like some more veteran wing depth, but I don't know what you're
better
really
than PJ Tucker.
Like what you're really getting that for. Like I can think of like some higher tier guy names. I don't know.
It's all kind of big swingy.
Yeah, I think you got to wait until the deadline to do anything like that. And for me, another thing, and I've said this since he went out, is like it just depends on what the timeline is for Plumlee as well, because no Plumlee does change things a little bit for me. And maybe that doesn't even mean a trade, but it does mean we are going to need something else roster wise, I think, in addition to Daniel Tice.
You don't think it's Dwayne Dedmon? You don't think it's him lighting up the G League and coming up to the Clips?
How old is he? I don't
know. Let me look. I did comment that I don't think Dwayne Dedmon would have joined the G League. He's 34. Would have joined the G League Clippers if he didn't have some inkling that he would play for the LA Clippers, right?
Yeah.
I mean, unless he just loves the game. I like that. But yeah, I don't know. We'll talk more trade stuff when Adam's
here. He just wanted a free gym.
Just want to run, man. Just want a couple T-shirts, jersey with my name on. It'd be cool. We'll talk more with Adam, but I think Adam would probably be on the page of no trade right now either. Or he'd take the gun out and completely yell about we should trade Norm. But yeah, we got to keep everybody. We got to keep everybody right now. Things are going too well, despite being 11-10. Anything else? Any other random players you want to give a shout out to? Brandon Boston Jr. just had a nasty poster dunk in his return to the G League, which is cool.
Oh, that's awesome. I don't know if we've talked about this yet on the show, but I want to give a shout out to Bones. He has not been playing.
Yeah,
he has not been playing. And okay, so I know that some of his shot selection was an issue in Denver. I don't know if there was ever like a locker room or personality issue, and that's like sort of what motivated the trade. But the guy has been a complete pro, even in the wake of being taken completely out of the rotation, publicly being stated that he is really no longer in the rotation.
Right.
He is one of the most active guys on the bench. He always seems really engaged with the games. He's interacting and talking with his teammates all the time. I know that he's not playing, and I know that, with the Harden trade, where he stands at all in this rotation is constantly going to be in flux, if not non-existent. But damn it, I'm just happy with, at least from appearances wise, how it seems he's been handling this whole thing like a true professional. And it gives me a lot of hope for what he can look like when he is rightfully so, returned to this lineup. It's just a little bit weird with the players that we currently have on contract. But man, Bones, love you. Can't wait to see you back on the court, and just love that you still seem to be giving it your all, even though you're not in the best of situations.
Yes, totally. I second everything you just said. Shout out.
My NormStan account is tweeting right now. Why did we sign here? Why did we even accept this trade? Why didn't we veto this trade?
Dude, I texted the group chat, and I don't think we'll fully go into it, but like, I don't know if we've talked about it really on the show. We've alluded to it a little bit when Carl was on. These Russ stands are, god damn, dude. Like, what are we doing this for? Like,
I just love that the accounts talk about it like they're involved in the player interactions. Like, this isn't what we signed up for when we came here. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
When we got here,
you run a Twitter.
When we got here, I expected a lot of things. People are just photoshopping. And here's the thing, too. I guess we are going to talk about it a little bit. Here's my thing. Russell Westbrook, phenomenal basketball player, Hall of Fame basketball player, like a man who has done
unquestionable
almost everything you can do at the professional level in the NBA. Russell Westbrook has done.
No play-in tournament either.
Sure, very true. Like this mentality is so weird. They're just posting photoshops of him in every team jersey, and they're just like, "What if he went here? What if he went to the Suns? What if he went here? What if he went here?" Like, get over it. Help him get a ring.
He's still playing.
What he's doing.
He's still playing.
He's still playing. They're like, we didn't come here.
And his field goal percent, like his field goal percentage is up. His point per games are up. Like his points per game are up. He's settling into this role I think the team would have known that he was able to do that. And I'm sure there were conversations before he signed here in the summer. Like, hey, we have some inkling that we might be able to get another guy.
Sacrifice. He knew. He knew.
I'm getting a random call. One sec. Just vamp.
Will might be being robbed right now over the phone. That's terrifying. Chaos here at Clips and Dip. No, I guess I'm talking to no one right now. If you're watching this over on youtube.com/at Clippers Podcast, thank you. You're watching me just kind of vamp right now while Will takes a mysterious call. We're talking Russell Westbrook stands who don't give a shit about the Clippers. That is, I think, what annoys me the most is that they don't care about the Clippers, which is kind of the whole point. And you should care about the Clippers because that's the team that Russell Westbrook is on. So if the Clippers are playing well, that means that Russell Westbrook has a better chance at a ring. And then maybe you can go outside or do whatever you're going to do. Will is back. Did you give them your social? What do they need? Is it a long lost brother?
No, I thought that it was going to be something important. It wasn't.
What was it?
It was just about some medications I have to pick up.
Well, there you go. Shout out to another underrated aspect of this Clippers team, the pharmacists. Let's give them all a shout. Go take it something. Anything you want to say about Russ stands? I basically just said that they're stupid and they should. I don't like the Russ stands that don't care about the Clippers, who are let's make the Clippers worse so Russ can get more minutes.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Maybe just ease up, you know?
Just ease up. Tap the brakes.
Fandom doesn't always have to be insanity, you know? And I say that as someone whose fandom borders on insanity. But you know what? I try to keep it in check, and I try to not talk about the team as though I'm a part of it.
Or a player as if you are.
Because I'm not.
Because you're not. A lot of interest. But yet to be part of the team. I did put out, the Clippers are hiring a director of AI and emerging technologies.
Mm-hmm.
Might toss my hat into the ring for that.
Yeah, I'll toss my hat in there. You want me to AI?
I think it's like $220K a year. Just to be
all AI.
What if we made the basketballs invisible? Seems like it would help us. You know, other team throws a pass, ball's invisible. Something to it. All right, coming up, we're going to be talking the kind of weird back-to-back that's happening on Monday and Tuesday. And then, we have a fun end-of-year thing we're going to do, which will be a good time. We got ads coming up. Go ahead and turn it down if they've been too loud for you. Ads coming up, then back-to-back review in 3, 2, 1. All right. We are back talking the Clippers.
Are we back?
Back-to-back. We are back talking Clippers back-to-back. Blazers tomorrow, Kings on Tuesday. Will, which one of these are you more concerned about?
What do you mean? Is this a serious question?
Not at all.
How long did it take you to come up with this question?
So Mason and Musa are out tomorrow versus Portland. Musa has some hip soreness, which sucks. Brandon Boston Jr. available. Do we think everyone else plays in both of these games? Do we think Kawhi and PG keep this thing going? They're not hurt. If the quote was, if they're not hurt, they're going to play.
Then I guess they continue it.
I guess they want them to take a break.
Look, what I want to see is I want to see an early lead and great performance from Kawhi and Paul George in this Portland game, and then I want to see the bench do what we do as well as we know they can do. Yeah, and maintain and hopefully even build upon a lead. And we get some sort of. They get the appearance for the game, but I'm hoping, and this is my hope on all of these games against your Portlands or your Spurs, that we don't see a lot of them in the second half. That's my hope. On a back-to-back, I think if you can keep the minutes low, I think it's doable. I think it's doable. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially so Portland, DeAndre Ayton was out versus the Mavs with knee soreness. He's questionable. Brogdon is questionable with a knee issue. Jeremy Grant is out because he's still in concussion protocol. I didn't see where he got a concussion, but
yikes,
that shit's gotta hurt. Having had a concussion, not from professional basketball, it really hurt. But so the Blazers are 11th in defensive rating, which kind of blew my mind when I saw that. But with DeAndre Ayton not there, with Jeremy Grant out, Ayton not 100%, Brogdon not 100%. I'm leaning towards your quasi prediction. I think we might see some great first half performances from Kawhi and PG. And then hopefully we see like Brandon Boston Jr. gets back in for a little bit, or like Amir gets some run or something like that. The Kings game, that's going to be a much.
I want to see Bones, Brandon, Terrence, Kobe.
Because Terrence will play. If the Clippers are up 40, Terrence will be in. So you said, sorry, it was who was it?
Bones, Brandon, Terrence, Kobe, Zoo.
Oh man, I don't that sure that's
the A5 Wagyu.
that is certainly a lineup for Clippers basketball. Kobe Brown looking pretty good in that last little stint. He's looking pretty good. They called me crazy. Actually, no one really called me that crazy, I don't think. Second game is against the Kings. We beat them after that horrible Nuggets loss, which is funny. That Nuggets loss was so bad, we somehow didn't even let this game hype us up. We're getting the Kings.
They were also on the second night of a back-to-back.
Which I believe we're getting them again on the second night of a back-to-back.
Yeah, but it's invalidated if we're also on the second night of a back-to-back. No advantage there.
That's true. There is no advantage there. I hate the NBA schedule. So last time we played, we won points in the paint, 60-48, which is great. But we also only turned the ball over 4 times, which that has to be the fewest amount of times so far this season. I'm hoping we can continue that. And Zoo on Sabonis was really nice. Zoo held him to 1 of 9 shooting. And Sabonis could not stop Ivica Zubac's. So I think we might see some of that early. Not a rim protector. I think we see some of that early lean on Zoo stuff a little bit. If Kawhi and PG, if one of them for some reason doesn't have it going.
Yeah. When you're not Claus, who will be your friend? He'll help you carry on. All right. I'll see you later.
I don't even know what that is in reference to. What is that from?
Lean on Me?
Oh, right. Classic. Surprised people don't make more jokes based on that song. Harrison
It's a funny song.
Harrison Barnes also was on Kawhi last game. That did not go well for the Kings, so I hope there's more of that. And this Kings, we know the starters, or we've seen the starters be very good. They really only had a bit of a hiccup just recently. So the Kings are going to be looking for a little bit of revenge from this one. De'Aaron Fox had 40 and they lost last time. So there's going to be the legs, I think, are weirdly going to be the most important thing in this game. Depending how this Kings team comes firing out. And not playing James Harden and Russell Westbrook together. If we do that, we'll probably lose the game.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
We need to stop. Ty still does it sometimes. And it makes no damn sense.
Maybe this is the time.
Maybe this time it works. Are you seeing 2 wins out of this? Are we sweeping this back-to-back? Does the win streak go to 5? I bet it goes to 4. But I don't know if it goes.
If the Clippers go 2-0 on these, I feel like the stink from Denver is pretty near gone.
Stink from Denver's gone. Would feel good going into the game against the Warriors, which they have a 3, and this is the first 2 of a 3 in 4 nights, which is a little tough. So you're saying, do you think they get these 2 wins?
Yeah, I think they got it.
Hell yeah! All right, there we go. Probably gonna get it.
They got to go what? 16-5, 16-4,
14-6.
14-6. Right.
So they doable, very doable. We're gonna have recaps of that. We're just gonna talk about what happened at that game on Clippers Talk. Adam's job that pays him money, so he takes this one off, which makes sense.
To some perhaps.
So mad about it. We do have a fun thing to talk about. We've been talking about this give no quarter thing, where we're gonna take a quarter and we're all gonna donate it to ourselves.
Each one of us is gonna donate a quarter for every quarter the Clippers lose.
Yes, which we're up to $8.25 now each. So with the holidays, it's more like $9.25.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. But we're gonna just donate all of it to a charity at the end of the season on behalf of Clips and Dip. So if you would like to suggest a charity for us to donate this to, go ahead and add us at Clippers Pod. Real answers only. I guess I'm just going to caveat that. We're not going to give to your Venmo. We're not going to give to your PayPal.
Yeah, we don't support the Dragon Fund. Come on, be real.
We will not support the Dragon Fund. We're not going to donate anything to the Ligma Corp, okay? But yeah, we're going to donate. We did Path last year. When we used to do stuff with Locked On, we would donate to Path, which is a wonderful organization here in LA. Will, anything else?
Didn't the L. Ron Hubbard Center take our money?
I don't even know why I'm still giving them checks. My thetans are off the charts.
Dangerously low? Dangerously low.
Wait, is low thetans bad or is high?
Yeah, low is bad.
Low is bad.
I think so.
Well, my
thetans good. I don't know.
No, thetans are bad. All right, we're gonna get into all of this on Scientology and Dip, which is our other podcast that we do. Will, anything you want to send these dedicated, wonderful, good Clippers fans, on this holiday evening?
Get at us. Charles will start a poll. Which is better, NormCore lineup or the Powell Rangers? Other than that, totally. I mean, look, the Clippers are looking a lot better. I know last time we did a full episode, things were still a little down despite a win in Denver. I think this team is, this team, I think deservedly so, is a prove-it team, right? And so far, at least in this last stretch of play, they are in fact proving it. They are proving that they are contenders. Let's just hope that continues. I see no reason why it can't. Giving health and the way that things are starting to work out from both an on-court perspective, from the rotation perspective. And yeah, let's hope that in these next couple of games, we see the offense continue to evolve. We see less of the ball sticking, ISO, hero ball stuff. And this team continues to look more and more congealed.
Yes.
That's the word I'm looking for, not congealed.
No, congealed makes it. Coalesced.
Yeah.
Coalesced.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, cozy. Any C word you want to use for being really close together and comfortable, I guess.
Kissy.
They're not. Yeah, we hope they're kissing the top 5 soon. If they go 14-6, they'll be kissing the top 5. I hate that so much. We're gonna do a tripod. Adam is going to be better at some point. He had pho the other day. We hope that's okay for him.
Probably had a bunch of ice cream today.
Probably. We're going to do a full tripod. Hopefully sometime this week. We'll have the double dips for you tomorrow and Tuesday. Reviews help us out. Hit us up with a review over on iTunes. And yeah, I don't think...
Subscribe to us on YouTube. Give us a little thumbs up, maybe a little comment. Let us know that you're there. Let us know what you want. Let us know what you want to see more of. Let us know when you have some availability and we can stream. We'll all stream together. Let us know your availability. Send us send us the address of your employer and let us know what dates you are working and what time. And we'll try to stream around that.
And we know what they don't like, which. Yeah. We know what they don't like. Anyway, everyone have a wonderful evening. The Clippers they're doing the right things. We'll be back with you soon. And as always, let's go Clips.